Murphy's Law was officially rewritten here tonight at Harvard Stadium in Cambridge, Massachusetts. And if Murphy's Law was going to be rewritten on the football field, it was going to be led by a coach named Murphy. Tim Murphy's Harvard Crimson scored the final 14 points in the contest in a matchup of unbeaten teams. The Harvard Crimson defeat the Dartmouth Big Green by a score of 14-13 here at Harvard Stadium in Cambridge, Massachusetts. I mentioned that everything that could go wrong went wrong for the Harvard Crimson, at least in the first 50 minutes of this contest. The first 4 drives for the Harvard Crimson that got into the Dartmouth 30-yard line resulted in 0 points, and those drives included a blocked field goal, 2 interceptions, 1 in the red zone, and a fumble also occurring in the red zone. But in the final 7 minutes, the Harvard Crimson finally awoke from their slumber, and they extended their winning streak to 21 games, now tied for the longest winning streak in all of Division I football with the defending FBS champions, the Ohio State Buckeyes. In that fourth quarter, Scott Hush, the quarterback for the Harvard Crimson, his first touchdown pass came on a 4th down, a 39-yard touchdown pass to Saitu Smith, and that cut the Dartmouth lead to 13-7. And then the Harvard defense had to step up and get the ball back, and that's exactly what they did late in the fourth quarter with about 3.5 minutes to go in the game. After Dartmouth gained the first down, trying to run out the clock, it was Jacob Lindsey, the linebacker for the Harvard Crimson, forcing a fumble from running back Ryder Stone of the Dartmouth Big Green. Was recovered by the Harvard Crimson at midfield. The final drive set up by the Harvard defense, and that drive goes all the way down and went all the way down for a touchdown. The game-winning touchdown pass coming with 38 seconds to go from Scott Hush to Justice Shelton Mosley from 5 yards out, giving the Harvard Crimson a 1-point lead at 14-13. But give Dartmouth credit, they did not quit. They went back down the field. 3 completions from Dalen Williams, the quarterback for Dartmouth, to his wide receivers, able to set up a 46-yard field goal attempt to win the game. But that field goal attempt was blocked, and sheer pandemonium broke out here on the field at Harvard Stadium after that last play. The Harvard Crimson extending their winning streak to 21 games with a 14-13 win over the Dartmouth Big Green. Harvard 7-0 on the season, 4-0 in the Ivy League, and they are in the driver's seat and looking to win another Ivy League championship. And after the game, I talked with Jacob Lindsey, the linebacker who forced the fumble, and I asked him to begin our conversation, what were the emotions in the Harvard Crimson locker room the second he stepped into it after the Crimson pulled off one of the more amazing wins in this stadium's history.
There's a big sense of relief because, quite frankly, Dartmouth outplayed us all the way up until that fourth quarter. They were bringing it up front on defense, had some big plays on offense. They were playing really tough. So it felt like we just stole something. Because we did. We stole that one from Dartmouth, and they didn't come out on top that day. But our emotions were a sense of relief, but also elation because we are still in a situation where we control our own destiny, and we're pretty confident as a team, and we have a lot of senior leadership. So there's a great sense of confidence, a great sense of relief going into next week, but we're excited to take the next step.
What came first the second you stepped into the locker room, relief or the elation?
Elation. The elation. They were simultaneous. We all just had big smiles on our faces and a lot of emotions running. Guys had tears in their eyes. I was fighting back tears. Just the way everything happened in that game with Saitu making a great play. Freshman Justice making a big play, Scotty Hush putting him in there for him, and making big stops on defense.
Of all of the games you've won in a row, 21 in a row, I'm guessing this is the most emotionally draining of that stretch, I guess, right?
Well, yeah, you asked me today, yes. Maybe down the road, I'd say it's right up there. Last year Yale game was pretty intense, and the way that went down with all the surrounding environment with game day. But yeah, as of today, this is it. I'm going to bed pretty early tonight for sure.
How proud are you of this defense, knowing that you had to go up against such a great offense and Dalen Williams, the quarterback, and able to hold the Dartmouth Big Green scoring down to allow your offense to be able to come back and win the game? How proud are you of your defense to hold Dartmouth down, at least on the scoreboard?
Yeah, the way they played the whole day, it felt like we were down by so many points, but we were right in there obviously till the end, and we were right in there at halftime. We figured the offense would get rolling, but it didn't happen until late. So to be in that position and continuing to play very well is quite a feat, I feel like, and I'm very proud of the guys. And it's another character building experience that we have together that we'll look back on over the years, and hopefully as Ivy League champs, but we'll look back on one another and say, hey, that was something else.
Take me through late in the ball game, down 13-7. You forced the fumble late with 3 minutes to go, and you guys recover the fumble. What are you thinking late in that game? Dartmouth had just gotten a first down, and it looked bleak. So what are you thinking on that play when you do force the fumble?
So for us, Coach Murphy puts the ball in their hands, punting with 3 minutes left. So we're in desperation mode. We want to get the ball out, put our offense in great field position. The play specifically, we were getting speed option to the boundary, and I was playing the boundary backer on that play. So I saw the tackle kind of take a drop step, and I wanted to make a play. I didn't think I could do it going over the top, so I just went underneath and tried to use my athleticism and get to the ball carrier. When I got to him, he kind of, I think, made a cut inside, and I just hit him as hard as I could. Ball popped out, and at that point, just it's why you play the game. That's the feeling I had.
When the ball is recovered by your defense, outside the elation that you feel of getting the ball back, do you feel as if, okay, we're going to win this game now?
I think at that point, all bets are off. Very nervous, obviously, a lot of anxiety running. But, we knew we did what we had to do to put our offense in a position where, they could make some chunk plays, get in a good scoring position, and we did just that.
What was your reaction the second Justice catches the ball, and after the extra point you take the lead? What's your reaction on the sidelines?
It's a very determined reaction because you have to understand that we still have to go out on the field. We have to, kick the ball, try to kick the ball deep to him, make a play on kickoff, and then you have Dylon who's making all those plays so deep into our secondary and with great receivers and McManus and Victor Williams. So there's still a very determined feeling that you have. But, and then the PAT as well, that's kind of, he draws you back down. Like, all right, let's hit this. We got to go up. And then from there, you're so focused on what's going to happen next.
And then at the very end, 8 seconds left, Dalen throws the ball deep into the end zone. The time expires. A lot of the players run onto the field, but then you get the sobering news that there's 1 second left. Was that another gut punch for you?
Yeah, well, I was watching the clock because I had turned around to see Chris make a play on the ball, and then I saw it tick, and I was like, okay, well, I feel awesome. Let's go jump around. But at the same time, I wasn't surprised. So then from there, it's like you have to gather yourself once again, go out there and just give it everything you have on that. Obviously, Stone made a great play. It's something else.
It's one of the biggest emotional highs you've had on the football field. How do you come back down and close it out in these final 3 games?
I think it's because of our maturity, especially on the defensive side of the ball, but also we have a lot of seniors on offense. That's what's going to take us into the next 3 weeks. Well, next week, in a very controlled, determined atmosphere, and I have no doubt we're going to do that very well.
Jacob Lindsey, thank you so very much for joining us. What's the first thing you're going to do the second you take off those pads right now?
Get my stitches out, my nose. That's what. So, then I'm going to go talk to my parents. I can't wait to see them and talk to them about the game and come up to everyone. So, I saw them up there. They always sit in the same spot, and I said hi. I just gave him a wave once we won. So that's the thing I'm looking forward to most.
You got to make it less of a barn burner for them the next time. Come on.
We've been having some blowouts, so I think they were excited to get their money's worth tonight, making the trip up here from the Midwest. So.
Of course, pure joy in the Harvard Crimson locker room for the Dartmouth Big Green. You'd have to think the emotions were absolute heartbreak and devastation for the Dartmouth Big Green. They had this game won, as Coach Tim Murphy said in the post-game press conference, as Jacob Lindsey said in our interview, 13-0. They were up in the fourth quarter. Actually, they had a chance to go up 17-0, but Victor Williams dropped a sure touchdown pass in the end zone on a double pass attempted by the Dartmouth Big Green. Would have put them up 17-0. The drive did end up resulting in a field goal to make it 13-0. nothing. But again, the Harvard Crimson scoring 14 unanswered points to win the ball game. We were absolutely impressed by the senior quarterback for the Dartmouth Big Green, Dalen Williams. 360 total yards in this contest, 311 through the air, another 49 on the ground, and he showed why he is one of the top senior quarterbacks, not just in the FCS, but one of the top senior quarterbacks in all of college football. The head coach of the Harvard Crimson, Tim Murphy, gave Williams a whole lot of praise, compared Dalen Williams to Russell Wilson, the Super Bowl winning quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks. But as of right now, the Harvard Crimson are the team that are undefeated in the driver's seat in the Ivy League standings, now 7-0 in the year, 4-0 in the Ivy League, 3 wins away from another Ivy League championship. So stay tuned to A Lot of Sports Talk and ALOTofSportsTalk.com for the written recap of this game, and also stay tuned for more Midnight Madness interviews that we've had from different media days across America getting ready for the 2015-2016 college basketball season. So once again, our final score, the Harvard Crimson pull it off, 14-13 over the Dartmouth Big Green. From Harvard Stadium in Cambridge, Massachusetts, my name is Adeshina Koike for ALOTofSportsTalk.com.